Welcome to the Life Self-Mastery Podcast, where we bring in entrepreneurs who have created online businesses and improved their lifestyles. Here's your host, Rohit Malhotra.
Hello everyone, this is Rohit from Life Self-Mastery, and today I'm excited to have Alex Nerney, who's the founder of Create and Go, an online blog that teaches others how to start a blog and eventually make money blogging. Alex and his co-founder, Lauren, quit their jobs, sold almost everything they owned, and went all in blogging. Within the first year, they made $100,000 blogging. By year 3, they're currently making over $100,000 per month online. And the best thing is, Alex and his co-founder, Lauren, live their life completely on their own terms. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rohit. Very excited to be here.
Awesome. So can you share your journey of what got you into blogging, and why did you want to start a blog?
Well, so it started out a little bit before that. So when I was younger, I picked up a copy of the 4-Hour Workweek back in probably about 2010, and so I always kind of knew that I always wanted to do something online. I wanted to do something a little bit different, try to go after kind of a different sort of life. So I bounced around for a long, long time at different things. I took internet marketing and applied it to my personal training practice. I was a personal trainer for a while, did a bunch of different things like that. But there was this conference that I went to on the Millionaire Fastlane, which is a book. And I went there and I saw these entrepreneurs like really doing it, like starting their own businesses, starting their own blogs, starting their own websites, doing a Kickstarter. It was everything and anything in between. And I just really got inspired by this fact of I guess I just reached a certain point of frustration in my life where I was sick of trading my hours for dollars. Like at that time I was running around as a personal trainer, and I was like, hey, I really need to try this and go all in. I didn't know it was a blog at the time. All I knew was really that I was just creating a website and writing down content. But that was the initial start. The initial start was back in about 2015. When I was just fed up. I was just annoyed and frustrated. I was sick of chasing the weekends constantly, never feeling like there was enough time to have fun, always feeling like just the weekends ended too quickly. And so, and that's why I got started, man. It was that level of frustration that I really felt with my life and what I wanted my life to look like.
Okay, and you started working on Avocado, which is the health blog, and can you talk about your strategy about how you grew the blog and what sort of content were you putting there?
Yeah, so Avocado started out of as a pretty natural extension. So Lauren at the time, she wasn't a vegan then, but she was a vegan, super into health and wellness, and I was a personal trainer, right? So it just seemed fitting that we would start a health blog. It just made sense, right? We just thought about it and we're like, okay, we're going to start a health blog. So at the beginning, the content was very different than the content is today. It's kind of like one of the lessons that I teach bloggers, that you sort of want to navigate your content towards what people are responding to. But when we started out, it was just general health and wellness tips. It was, for everything from what foods are high in vitamin C to weight loss tips to yoga. It was everything and anything in between. But we just started it naturally because we loved health and wellness. It just made sense for us. It made sense to move in that direction.
Okay. And, you've used Pinterest to really, grow your blogs. Can you talk about, what sort of traffic strategies have you done for your website to really take it to the next level?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to give you guys some specifics with that as well. So what happened is, we started Avocado and we were trying all sorts of things to get traffic, right? So we had this idea, right? Lauren and I are back in Dallas, Texas, again, working as a personal trainer. And we're working on this blog and we're trying to get people to visit, and we are struggling, right? I'm trying everything, right? I'm trying everything from Facebook ads to the Stumble Upon, if you remember that website. Yes. Where it was I tried to get traffic from there. I saw somebody it didn't work for me, at least. Tried everything and nothing seemed to be working. Nothing seemed to be able to bring some sort of consistent traffic to our blog. And then I was actually a part of this group, digitalmarketer.com. They have like this lab in the back for people who are interested in marketing. And I remember them talking a little bit, hey, like you can drive some traffic via Pinterest. And I was like, Pinterest, that thing that, like people use for interior design and like, for outfits, really? And so I went and started messing around with it. Eventually, after playing around with it for a while, we started putting some blog posts on there. And man, our traffic just started to grow. It wasn't instant, but it felt instant because it didn't take long at all. And not only was it just traffic, not only was it awesome traffic, it was organic. It was free, like we weren't paying for ads or anything. And it was a ton of traffic. And also it operates as a search engine. So it's a jQuery search. So people keep coming over and over to Pinterest. So that's really what blew us up. And that's really the leverage that we took from Pinterest was what we needed to eventually quit our jobs and get started, because we built up this big readership just solely on Pinterest. And people who are starting out on Pinterest, what I tell them is like, Pinterest still to this day is an amazing performer for blogs. It just takes time and consistency. But I think that it is so much more worth it than a platform like an Instagram or even a Facebook, because it's able to garner organic free traffic. But if I did have one tip just to give your audience right now, I'd just say it's about that consistency. Most people get started with Pinterest and they don't apply the lessons over a long enough period of time. And if you are consistent with Pinterest and you are a blogger, you will get traffic.
No, absolutely. I also started off with Pinterest and looked at the strategies from Melissa Griffin and a few other bloggers. Group boards is one of the best strategies on how to grow your traffic on Pinterest. What is your suggestion on how many group boards should somebody join to increase their following and increase their base?
So the big mistake people make with group boards is that they focus on a really big quantity instead of a smaller amount. So back in the day, Pinterest would show the quantity of repins and shares from a set pin on Pinterest, right? And so what they did is there was something called a virality score, and each group board was measured in virality. So it would say there's 20 pins on a group board, and each of those pins averages 10 pins. Technically, that virality is like 10. It's 10 per post, 10 repins per post. So the mistake here is that Pinterest also, when they positively rate virality, they also negatively rate it. So if you join boards that, let's say they don't share great content, or let's say they have 10 million contributors and it's like the board is flooded with all random nonsense, that's not a board you want to join, because not only does it bring that virality of the board down, it brings down the virality of your individual Pinterest account. So focus on the quality of the group board. Now, you can't see the measures of virality anymore. Pinterest has hidden those things. But the same principles still apply to this day, where you need to focus on joining those high quality boards. Like, spend the time to try to really get to know the contributor of like a really, really well done board, and really show out for them, help them out with stuff, do whatever you can to get on that group board. If you're able to do that, those things will help you out a lot.
Okay, and what sort of schedulers are you using to schedule out your posts on Pinterest? Does BoardBooster and Tailwind still work?
So BoardBooster does not, but Tailwind is where you should be. BoardBooster, they didn't have a registered API with Pinterest, and so Tailwind came out, and actually Tailwind is introducing a feature. It's sort of similar to BoardBooster. It's a little bit different, called Smart Loop, but it's definitely something. That's the place where you need to be for scheduling. Now, I'm speaking a little bit out of turn here. Lauren is actually the real true Pinterest expert, but I do know enough to know that we use Tailwind, and Smart Loop is coming out with a feature that will be excellent for Pinterest.
Okay, got it. And other than Pinterest, what are the social media platforms would you recommend, and which have worked for your blogs?
So the best ones, man, was Pinterest for sure. And then it followed up actually with YouTube. YouTube ended up being a very important platform for us, just because And when I say YouTube, most people are pretty fearful of YouTube. Because it is a high barrier to entry. You have to get on camera, you have to talk to a camera, record a video, upload a video. But I don't think there's any better way to connect with your audience than, showing your face and talking, because people can see, they kind of see through the mask of whatever's on your blog, and they can see through to the real you. So definitely consider it. You can check out our YouTube channel if you type in Create and Go, and you'll see some of my older videos, the ones that are so popular, are not difficult videos to make. Literally, I just hop up, record on my iPhone, just a really quick intro, like just, hey, what's up? We're talking about this today. And then I screen record my screen and walk people through, whatever that topic is. So it's not that hard to get started. The other positive social media things I'd say is Facebook groups. Facebook groups, I think Facebook really did a number by creating those, because I think Facebook pages are not nearly as valuable, but those groups are such a great way to get started meeting people. If you're a new blogger, if you're new to this industry, go into Facebook and type in your topic of interest. So if it's like dogs, type in dog blogs or dog groups or whatever, and you will find people in your community to connect with. Those have been the real driving factors of conversion for social media. Like, we don't do Instagram. We have an Instagram, but just not that relevant for us. I just feel like it's hard for people to convert over to our platform. But yeah, that's really it. I'd say YouTube is the next best because it's search engine, and then Facebook groups are probably the next step after that.
Correct. Yeah. I saw that you have around 48,000 subscribers. Is it all about creating great content, or were you also putting up YouTube ads to get more subscribers and get more views for your videos?
Yeah, great question. So actually, that channel has really grown, and this is why YouTube also works really well with blogging or having a website. Because what you can do is you can create a blog post. Let's say you're creating a post on how to make money blogging, right? You create this post, but then what you can do is you can create a YouTube video that sort of mimics the post, and you can embed that video in your post. So you can get subscribers organically with people who are already coming and visiting your blog post. So actually, that YouTube channel has grown without any ads to 48,000. Now, we are going to start running some ads very soon, but that's just a little insider info. But the truth is, as of now, like, YouTube hasn't been grown with any direct ads. It's just been embedding those YouTube videos into our blog posts. You can also see our other YouTube channel called The Health Nerd. Now, The Health Nerd, I don't post any content on there anymore, but we're up to 400,000 subscribers. And that was the YouTube channel that we embedded into our Avocado blog posts. So people would come to Avocado, visit our health and wellness site, and then they would see embedded in the blog post our YouTube channel called The Health Nerd. They'd go and visit it and subscribe. So that's why those platforms work so well together, because they can both feed off of each other, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. If somebody is starting out a new blog in 2019, what are the most important metrics for a new blogger to check on while he's looking at building his audience? Because there's just too many things he has to look at, like page views and number of shares he's getting. What is, in your view, the most important metrics for a new blogger to look at?
I think the most important metric for a new blogger, and that's actually a great question. I would say the most important thing for a newbie to focus on is interaction, like true interaction with a fan. So like those are like interaction by a YouTube comment, a comment on a blog post that you wrote, or a like email that you've received from somebody. Those are like the metrics you should actually go after, because things like page views can be confusing. Like you can write a ton of blog posts and get a bunch of page views, but have it not relate to your audience, right? Only that true customer and engagement with something really defines that, oh, this really spoke to somebody. This is something that somebody is interested in, right? Like when you're creating a blog to make money, and this is a simple lesson I tell everybody, it's not about you, right? It's about them, right? It's all about them. what you're providing them, the value you are giving them, how you're serving your audience. And the more you serve them, the more you'll get feedback and engagement that says, the more you're truly serving them and truly helping them, the more comments and feedback you're going to receive that say, hey man, this really helped out, or hey, this is really something I needed. Thank you so much, right? Those are the true metrics you want to go after, especially if you're a newbie. Because at the beginning, your page views and stuff like that, those can confuse you into chasing the wrong rabbit hole. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Once somebody gets the traffic to their blog, what are your favorite monetization strategies, and how do you monetize your blogs?
Okay, so I'll break this down from a beginner to intermediate section. So as a beginner, your first sales, the first things you want to go after is you want to go after kind of low ticket affiliate marketing. The reason why you want to do that is there's a multitude of reasons, actually. The first is that as a beginner, you're probably going to suck at selling. That's just kind of how it goes. At the very beginning, you haven't built up enough skills to know the exact progression of getting somebody to read the full blog post, subscribing to your list, creating an email sales funnel, all this process, right? Right. So what I would start with something very simple. A simple Amazon Associates are related products that are easy buys. Don't try to sell a $300 fancy new toaster, right? Sell something simple that your audience needs. A great book that they need to read. If you're in a dog blog niche, sell some, cheap dog treats or something, the best and cheapest. The reason why is that as a beginner, those first few wins matter. Those first few wins, whenever you're starting out, those are the ones that motivate you to keep moving forward. And by getting those first few wins, you will have that internal confidence and that shift saying from, is this going to work, to, oh my gosh, this is starting to work. Then after you've sold some, cheaper, easy products, then I would say it's time to step your game up. Now what you're trying to do is you're trying to put in an email list and create an email sales funnel. Use that email sales funnel then to sell higher priced products. Sell things like a higher priced affiliate marketing course, a higher priced product, and then eventually progress into creating your own. But affiliate marketing is so great because not only does it teach you, here's why. It teaches you how to sell without the risk of creating a product that bombs. A lot of people create products and don't know how to sell them properly. And so they might have this amazing product that people need, but they just don't know how to properly sell it to their audience. And affiliate marketing can teach you that without the risk of creating a product that bombs.
Got it. And you've created your own product, which is Six-Figure Bloggers. Is that a video course? Can you talk a little bit about this course?
Yeah, for sure. Six-Figure Blogger is a video training course. It is by far our most extensive course that we have ever created, and our courses are pretty in-depth. That course is a video training course that teaches people how to take their blog to the next level. So let's say that you have a blog and you've started out and you're you have your first readers, you've been in the blogging game for a couple years, but you're still really struggling with, how do I monetize this thing properly? And how do I monetize this thing on a big scale? Not just small monetization, how do I get to six figures and beyond? That is the course that you take when you want to do that, because that breaks all of this down. It breaks down the whole process of here's how to create an email sales funnel. Here's how to get the right readers to your blog posts. Here's how to properly build a sales page for conversions. Here's how to treat an audience member or a purchaser so well that they want to tell their friends and their family and other people in Facebook groups about your product. That's what Six-Figure Blogger is. Now it's definitely more of an advanced course, but it's, we've had so many people come through, and, people like Natalie Bacon or Amira Law, who we've taken from making no money, or Natalie was already making some, to making over $10,000, $20,000 a month blogging with that course.
Okay, and you talked about creating your own email sales funnel. So what are your favorite strategies to build an email list?
Yeah, so my favorite strategies are right off the get-go. So when you create content, right, let's say you create 10 blog posts and you don't have an email sales funnel. Let's start there. So you create 10 articles. What you want to do first is you want to look at, all right, which one gets the most traffic? Which one are the people most interested in? Which one are the people most engaged with? And then what you want to do is you want to create a content upgrade or a lead magnet designed specifically to that audience, right? So if it is like ours was yoga, right? People, when we created Avocado, I had no idea we would be selling a yoga product one day. No idea. But we created this yoga content and people loved it. So we're like, okay, what do they need in yoga? And so we're like, all right, let's create this 8 beginner yoga poses PDF. And that one got so many signups because it was directly related to why they were visiting that page, right? That art of specificity on your email lead magnet or collecting those emails is really important. So you create that, and then what you do is you want to provide them. So there's 2 thoughts here on the email marketing. One group of people thinks that you should immediately sell something low value and then like upsell them. I don't like that as much. I like more of, hey, let's build that relationship for a few days and then sell the product. And so that's more of what it looks like. We do like a 7-day, normally like a 7-ish day funnel. First few days, free content, free things like check this out, check that out. Here's some more resources, all related to yoga, right? And then at the end of that funnel, then we sell them our product.
Okay, and other than affiliate marketing and your own courses, are there other ways in which you monetize your blog?
Yeah, so we monetize with ads as well on Avocado, and the reason why we do that is funny because I never thought ads would work because if you're a little bit into the blogging game, you understand the feeling of, hey, I've got some traffic, let's put some Google AdSense on there, and then just nobody buys, right? You make like $3 in a month and you're like, oh, great. Really glad I put this on there. But what happens is actually when you get enough traffic, you can partner with like a premium ad network, like a Thrive. There's Thrive. There's a few different others. I'm blanking on, I think Mediavine is another one. There's one's like called like Rocket Ship or something. Propeller Ads. That's what it is. There are premium ad networks that will set up the ads properly on your website and market kind of higher priced advertising. And so that is a good way. So we actually make a few grand per month, probably like $2 to $4 grand per month on Avocado comes from ads. So that's another way that we monetize. But it's going to depend on your website, right? So Avocado, our health and wellness blog, we monetize with ads, right? On Create and Go, absolutely not. Like I don't want another marketer's popping up, another marketer's ad popping up on my blog post on, how to start a blog. Like I want, only those visitors to be interested in me. So it's going to depend. It's going to depend on your blog and what's right for you.
Okay. And Alex, you're making more than $1 million a year. So how much time are you spending on your blogs, on a weekly basis?
Yeah. So this is, there's this quote in entrepreneurship, and I'm going to start getting better at remembering these. The one is that it's kind of like you sacrifice a lot up front so that this back end is awesome. Now, right now, I'm working a little bit harder than I have recently, but right before I moved to Austin, I was on a 50 states road trip, and I was working less than 10 hours a week. But the thing is, though, man, is like I don't want to say that without prefacing this, because before that, when I was starting out and I was in that growth phase, we were working a ton. We were working, late nights, early mornings, working all the time on building our business. The best part about internet entrepreneurship, blogging, and creating your own stuff is that you can sacrifice now for a better tomorrow. And that's a really true value proposition that you can have, because you can put in the time and effort and energy and then go on a 50 states road trip. And then, so there's these two kind of different phases. You're going to be in this growth phase, right? And when you're in a growth phase, baby, you are working all day, every day, really trying to make it happen, right? But then there's this maintenance phase that happens where you can take some time off. You can kick your shoes back, relax, enjoy life a little bit more. So I wouldn't there's not really a specific hour that I work per week. It's more like, am I in a growth phase or am I in a maintenance phase? And those are two different lifestyles. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's awesome, that kind of freedom and abundance it gives to you once your business is making an X amount of money. And is it only two of you working on the business, or you have a team also who helps you with your blog?
Yeah, we have a small but awesome team. Drew Duboff is kind of like our customer service guy, as well as Shannon Darling, one of Lauren's great friends. They do some more of the customer service stuff, some of the maintenance of the blog. We have a few various freelancers doing various activities. When the WordPress website breaks down and we have no idea what's going on, we need a guy for that. When we want to redesign some things, very specifically, we have a guy for that. I've been working with a video editor, but most of these people operate in a freelance sort of mode. So they're really guns for hire. So it's mainly the two-man team, but we need our casting crew of freelancers, or it wouldn't work. That's just part of scaling, though. As a beginner blogger, it's not really something you have to worry about. As a beginner blogger, you should learn all the pieces of your business. Like, I'm very much a proponent of that, because how can you know if somebody's doing a good job without knowing how to do it yourself? So I'm a very big proponent of that at the beginning, but now we do probably have a team of five to 10, freelancers doing various activities on our blog.
Got it. And do you have any favorite bloggers whom listeners can follow and learn from?
Yeah, so I've always been a big fan. Well, obviously yours, right? Life Self Mastery.
Thank you.
No problem. So Making Sense of Sense, Michelle has always been an inspiration, I think, in a cool sense. If you don't know her, Michelle Schroeder, I know that you do, but if your audience doesn't know her, she's she really is what I think of like as the natural of blogging. She's a pure blogger. Most bloggers now today are marketers, right? Yeah, they're like people who know, right? They know how to market and sell things. But Michelle is like a true blue like blogger who just figured it out. And I've always been inspired by her stuff. Our friend Natalie Bacon, nataliebacon.com, she's going to be just fair warning, she will be a very, very popular blogger, successful person one day. I don't think I know anybody who hustles harder than her. Melissa Griffin at the beginning, definitely another person that we look to, because she just seemed to like see around corners. She was always on top of things. Those are really some of my favorites at the beginning that really inspired me and inspired us to keep going through the harder parts of starting a blog.
Okay, and what's the next big thing for Alex and Trade and Go? Where do you want to go from here?
Yeah, so the big thing we're trying to get to, man, is like I struggle with this, man. I struggle with doing the outreach and doing the networking side of blogging. We built our businesses really without really much networking at all. And so this is sort of the next phase and next steps. The next goal, I would love to see Create and Go's YouTube channel get to 100,000 subscribers. I would love for us to grow our blog's traffic right now. We are, those are the two main metrics that I'm looking at, like to improve like our income. Obviously, like we think we'll get to the 200 grand per month mark, but and that's cool. But money after a certain time isn't really about the money. It's more about like how many people you're helping. The big mission right now for Create and Go is like, I want to take 10 bloggers to making 10 grand or more per month. I want to take 100 bloggers to making 1,000 or more per month. And I want to take 1,000 bloggers to making their first $100 or more per month. Like, that's the big mission and vision behind Create and Go right now. And that's really what we're looking towards.
Awesome. That's a great mission. It's important. Once you've made that kind of money, you kind of wealth you've made, it's important to, give back and contribute and make others grow as well. So let's quickly do the top three. What's your favorite business book?
My favorite business book is The Millionaire Fast Lane. Super cheesy title, amazing book. If you are new to blogging, or if you're new to really any business, it really breaks down how you spend your day, right? I'm a big believer in like all we have is the present moment, right? This is all we really get is right here, right now in the present. And so It really breaks down how you're spending your hours and where those hours are taking you. And I think it's just a very important book for newbie entrepreneurs to have, because it can really show them and expose to them, oh, I'm not headed in the direction that I want to because my hours aren't being spent accordingly to where they need to be spent.
Okay, and if you could go back in time when you started your blogs, what is the one thing you would have focused on?
I would have focused on being more focused. That sounds interesting. It's so when you start out as a blogger, or you start out any online business, you can have sort of the moth to the flame syndrome, or like the pretty light syndrome, right? Where you go in, oh, there's this pretty thing, and you wander over there, and then you look over to the next thing. Oh, there's this other shiny thing. It's the shiny object. And that's very tempting. But what I tell people now is, I'm like, hey, if you bought a course, like whatever course you've bought, do it all the way. See it all the way through and spend less time jumping around. If I had done that at the beginning, we would have gotten to our success faster. Okay.
And what's your favorite online tool? For example, Gmail, Slack, LinkedIn?
Slack. I mean, we just started using Slack. I mean, I used it before, but not for work. We started using it for work maybe 4 weeks ago. Oh my gosh. It is so great as far as an organizing your thoughts tool. If you have a team, or even if you have a team of 2 people, Slack is amazing. It's a really well done product, and I have nothing but great things to say about it.
Awesome. And what's the best way people can reach out to you and know more about your blog and your courses?
So there are 2 main places I would tell them to go. There's our blog, createandgo.com, createandgo.com. That's the best place, if you want to learn about us. We have there's this about us story on there. It's 5,000 words, gets tons of comments all the time. I think it's the best place to learn about our overall. And then we have this really kind of epic post on how to make money blogging. It's just createandgo.com. /how to make money blogging, spaces in there. Okay. I'm sure it'll be linked, but the deal is, it really, again, this is another epic post where it goes through 4,000, 5,000 words of here is really the breakdown of what you need to be focusing on next. And I think that's just a really great resource for people to have.
Okay. Alex, I had tons of stuff, and I was busy writing notes. Thank you so much for your time. It was awesome speaking to you, man.
Yeah, Rohit. This was a lot of fun, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Life Self-Mastery Podcast, where we teach you how to start and grow your online business. For more information, visit Rohit's blog at www.lifeselfmastery.com.